Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 568th Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. And if I was to name this game, I think I would name it Attacking and Defending the Mound. You'll see what I mean as the game unfolds. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman, who has bought the Lombardi faction. Okay, this is, I think, one of Barclayman's faction of choices here. He likes his faction. As you can see here, he's got the Chosen Axemen, and these guys are effective against armor, and they do just what it says on the tin. They can chop up heavily armored troops like Roman troops, and they are very effective. Okay, so he's got those. Also in his army, he's got the Horde Chosen Swordsmen. These guys got good defense and good attack and are good solid infantry. So, as I say, that faction is a pretty good faction to bring. Also, he, of course, have got his Lombard Berserkers. In Rome Total War, we allow 3 Berserkers max, but in Barbarian Invasion, we only allow 2 because the Berserkers seem very powerful on this game. So there's only 2 allowed maximum on Barbarian Invasion. These guys are bring a big fear factor and are very tough Berserkers. Okay. I see he's gone for the long-range Lombard archers. Okay, he's got 2 choices of archers. He can go for the armoured archers, which are kind of medium range, or these unarmoured archers who've got long range there. So I think that's an interesting army build there. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Man 2, who's got the Roman Western Empire faction there. Okay. And if you notice here, he's got his Plumbarturi. Can you see those metal-tipped, effective against armoured darts that they can throw? Now remember, each Plumbarturi unit can throw 810 of those effective against armour metal-tipped darts. So he's got a heck of a lot of firepower there. I think he's got 15 Plumbarturi, 1 Comitatensis, and I think he's got 3 cavalry. Okay, so let's say those Plumbarturi units can throw 810 of those effective against armor darts. There's his Comitatensis Eagle unit there for a bit of extra morale. Okay, so that's a 122-man unit. Plus, he's got his infantry general there as well. Okay, and just to show you there, can you see that he's got 7 upgrades on his infantry units? Now, units are quite dear in Barbarian Invasion, so putting an experience stripe on can be quite cost restrictive, but I notice he's done that here. If you notice here, you'll see that I think those 5 units there on the end of his second line of his battle formation have got 7 upgrades on experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. The rest of his army is just gold shield, gold attack. He's bought a religious unit. Remember, we've talked about this before. Morale is very, very important in Barbarian Invasion, and to bring a religious unit that gives your troops an extra morale bonus, keeps them fighting longer, is a good tactical move there. Quick look at his cavalry, and he's got Sarmatian Auxiliary Cavalry, and if you notice, he's got 8 upgrades on those cavalry. He's got 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on those cavalry there. So that's an interesting army build there. And as I say, he's got a heck of a lot of firepower there with those Plumbarturi. Okay, our next teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who has unusually bought the Alemanni faction. Many, many years ago, when I used to play Barbarian Invasion a lot, this is one of my favourite factions, so I thought for this battle I'd bring it along. You might notice that it's a very infantry-based army. Okay, I've only got 3 cavalry. So as you see here, I've got the Chosen Axemen. As I say, these are effective against armour and will chop up Roman troops quite happily. But these units here are called the Night Raiders. Now, these are also effective against armour, but they bring a big fear factor as well. Remember what we've talked about in Barbarian Invasion, how morale is so important in this game? Well, if you could bring a unit that saps the morale of enemy troops like these Night Raiders, then that's a good tactical move to do that. Because, as I say, with morale being so important on here, the more morale you can take away from enemy troops, making them more susceptible to routing, the better. See how they paint their bodies there to add that fear factor to the enemy troops. If you notice here, I've got chosen archers. Now these are armoured archers, okay, but they've only got medium range. But as they're armoured, they're harder to kill. And I've got 1 long range Lombard archer unit there without any armour on. Okay, so there's my army there. As I say, I've only got 3 cavalry. Okay, those Burgundian Lancers though have got a big 10 charge bonus. Now remember, the biggest cavalry charge bonus is 10, Remember the charge bonus is the impact and penetration, and these guys have got that 10 charge bonus, but the rest of their specifications aren't great. They're fast moving, and I say they got that 10 charge bonus, but the rest of the specifications aren't great on that. So that's my Alemanni army. As you can see, very infantry based with only 3 cavalry. And our last teammate, if we can find him in the woods, as I say, it's always kind of difficult to see units in the woods there. There we go, you can see him there. And our last teammate is Brotherhood member Clash, who's got the Roman Eastern Empire rebels. Now Clash has got 3 archers, 4 comitatenses, 6 plumbarturi, and 6 equitae clibanarii cavalry. Okay, so he's got a good army, but this is a Clash's faction of choice. He likes to bring this faction, and as you can see, the rest of his army is hiding in the woods. Okay, so there's our team. It's got the potential to be a really great battle, and as I say, I think I would call it the Battle of the Mound if I was to name this battle. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Danny, who's got the Roman Eastern Empire faction, and Danny has got 13 plumbarturi and 5 equitae clibanarii. There's his equitae clibanarii with those effective against armor maces that look suspiciously like rolling pins, but no, those are effective against armor maces. And Danny has got, as I say, 13 plumbarturi, 5 cavalry, and a religious unit as well there. Okay, remember, as we've talked about lots of times in this game, Barbarian Invasion, religious units are a good tactical thing to bring because morale is so important, and those religious units keeps your troops fighting longer during the course of the battle. Okay, their next teammate is our Barbarian Invasion player Amnestos, and he has got one of the most unusual army builds I have seen. Okay, Amnestos has got 9 Auxiliaria Palatina, okay, 5 plumbarturi, and 5 priests. Okay, so it's a very, very unusual army build here, and he does build unusual army builds here. He likes to be a bit different. So there you are, you can see the Auxiliaria Palatina are spearmen. Okay, so they're anti-cavalry, but also in this shield wall, which he's got all the way along these are the forward units of his battle formation, and he's made them into a shield wall there. They are also really good at halting enemy infantry as well. So these Auxiliaria Palatina are not only good anti-cavalry infantry, but in this shield wall formation they can hold up infantry as well. And if you notice there, it's fully upgraded. Okay, 9 upgrades, 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack, and that gives these Auxiliaria Palatina 31 defense, a massive 31 defense and 13 attack. Now with a 31 defense in that shield wall, that's going to take some breaking. There's not a lot of troops going to break through that, because with those fully upgraded units there and in that shield wall, going to be difficult to break through. He's got his plumbarturi behind his shield wall there to be able to throw their effective against armor metal tipped darts over the top of their shield wall there, and he's gone for the Imperial German bodyguard. Now this is one of the toughest bodyguard units in the game. You don't see it used that much because it's very expensive there. There's his general. But yeah, the Imperial German bodyguard, very tough. But also, did you notice here, he's got 5 religious units. Okay, so this is a massive morale here that he's given his troops. 5 religious units there, plus, as I say, those Auxiliaria Palatina in shield wall formation, fully upgraded. So this is going to be a really interesting army to see how well it does during the course of the battle. As I say, very, very unusual. He's got his general there, plus those 5 religious units, giving morale to his troops, plus fully upgraded spear units as shield walls at the front of his battle formation. As I say, it'd be very interesting to see how well he does during the course of the battle with this very unusual army build. Okay, their next teammate is Barbarian Invasion player called Julius Caesar. He's played with us before, seems to be a good player. He's got 5 archers, 7 Sugdian warriors, and 6 cataphracts. Okay, so there's the Sugdian warriors there with their effective against armor maces, good solid infantry. The Sassanid faction is a good faction to bring. They've got good long range archers with good defense. Okay, so they've got great infantry, great archers, but their real strength is their cataphracts, their cavalry. Okay, I think we've just gold shield, gold attack on. They got something like a 35 defense and a massive 9 charge bonus as well. Okay, so their real strength is their cavalry, but all of the Sassanid faction is a good faction to bring. Effective against armor infantry, good long-range archers, and of course those really great cataphracts. Their last teammate is Brotherhood member First Prime, who's got a Roman Eastern Empire faction, and he's got 15 Plumbartroi, 1 Comitatensis, and 3 cavalry. His usual standard Roman army there for barbarian invasion. So there's the other team. This should be a great battle for you to watch. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought I'd talk about this custom map hosted by Brotherhood member First Prime. Okay, now he hosts on this map a lot because of this slope. Okay, now sometimes you can be in the defending team here, and when I say defending, because what we find is most of the teams have got this slope, they become defensive and kind of almost passive here, because of course they kind of defend around this mound or this slope, as you could say, and they become, as I say, quite defensive and passive. Whereas I much prefer to be in what I call the attacking team. That's the other team there, because of course when one team goes defensive and passive, it hands the initiative to the other team. And as I say, the other team is what I would call the attacking team here, because they've got the initiative here. They can think of the tactics and strategy to attack our defensive position here. Okay, and to be honest with you, 8 times out of 10, okay, the attacking team wins here and ends up taking the slope, the mound if you like. Okay, so that's what usually happens here. So it'd be interesting to see what happens during the course of the battle. As I say, when one team goes defensive and passive, like the team on the mound may do, it hands the initiative to the enemy team to attack. It should be a great one for you to watch. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you can see our general disposition on this mound. As you can see, as we said earlier, we have taken up a defensive position here. You can see my troops at the back here. As I say, my army is very infantry based here, and I just want to show you something here with my army. If you notice my Knight Raiders here, can you see, if you look at the writing, can you see they are actually hiding? Okay, which is very unusual. I haven't noticed this before on this mound map, but if you notice, my other units around those Knight Raiders are not hiding. Can you see the Chosen Axemen? They're not hiding there, and neither are the Berserkers. They're not hiding either. But these Knight Raiders are, so there must just be a strip of long grass here on this mound that allows units to hide. That's the only thing I could think of. I haven't never noticed this before on this mound map. So as I say, my Knight Raiders are hiding at the moment on there. But as I say, there's our general disposition. As I say, people, players that hold the mound tend to go a bit defensive and a little bit passive there. You can see that Barclayman has got his army like on this side of the mound, and he must be very aware that Danny could come down there with those massive firepower that he's got and really do a lot of damage to his army there. I'm sure Barclayman's aware of that. But as I say, you can see, as we said earlier, that the team that kind of holds the mound is defensive and a bit passive, and it hands the initiative to the enemy team that are attacking. And to be honest with you, the attacking team usually wins 8 times out of 10 here. The attacking team, because they've got the initiative, they have the tactics and strategy to take the mound. And as I say, 8 times out of 10, the attacking team does win. So here you can see First Prime's Equitoi Clibinari unit there in open order. And you can see that Barclayman's archers are shooting at him there, but because of the great defence of those Clibinari plus an open order there, he's not going to suffer a lot of casualties. Here you can see Amnestos moving his army towards us here, and now you can see that Barclayman has changed his archer fire onto Amnestos' shield wall. Remember, he's got those 9 Auxilia Palatina spearmen in shield wall formation here at the front of his battle formation. Okay, and don't forget they're fully upgraded, so they've got a 31 defense, and as I say, that's a solid shield wall there. As I say, very, very unusual army build to see this, and as I say, it'll be interesting to see how well he does during the course of the battle. But as I say, you can definitely see our team has gone defensive and passive around the mound here. And as I say, the moment a team goes defensive and passive, it hands the initiative to the attacking team. And my guess is that the attacking team will make the most of that. And as I say, the attacking team on this map usually wins, I would say, 8 out of 10 times. As I say, here you can see Clash has got his archers here at the front of our team there, shooting arrows into the enemy team. But you can see there that the desert archers there will probably be replying soon. I would think they are. They're replying now. They're shooting their arrows at I think Barclay Mann's archers there. Right, okay, so you can see AM Nestos here moving that experimental army forward very aggressively here. He knows that that spear shield wall that he's got there with their fully upgraded specifications there are going to take a lot of breaking there if we attack. Right, can you see the missiles that are coming? Now remember, those are effective against armor metal tipped darts that are coming in onto his units. It's almost like raining missiles. Okay, so even though he's in shield wall and he's got 31 defense, because those units are fully upgraded, he's still going to suffer a lot of casualties from those effective against armor and metal tipped darts. Okay, once again it looks like he's moving forward again. Look, very aggressive here with this experimental army of his. Look how he's moving forward there in front of his teammates there, really taking the battle to the enemy there. And let's say, I think with that solid shield wall with those fully upgraded units there, I think that's giving him a lot of confidence to move forward. But looking at the missile damage it's going to suffer, look at those missiles. I mean, it literally is raining effective against armor missiles onto those forward units of his battle formation there. So make no mistake, even though he's got those massive upgrades and they're in shield wall, they're still going to suffer a lot of casualties there from the missiles that we're throwing down onto him here. Let's say you can see there lots of missiles there. You can see in the air, like I said before, it's almost like raining missiles down onto his troops. Once again, looks like he's going to run forward again. There you go. Look, very, very aggressive here by AM Nestos with this, as I say, this experimental army that I've never seen an army build like this before. So it'll be interesting to see how well it does. As I say, the closer he moves to our troops, the more the missile damage. Look at those missiles coming in on him there. Look. I mean, that is just phenomenal missiles coming down on him. Those effective against armor metal tipped darts really causing massive damage to his forward units here. I mean, as I say, even with those great defense, fully upgraded units in shield wall formation, they are being absolutely decimated. Look at this unit on the end. That's an 82-man unit reduced to 6 men. Last man left now. Look, 1 man left out of 82 dead. Okay, so that entire unit was taken out before it even got into hand-to-hand fighting. That's the devastating firepower that the Roman troops are throwing down onto him there. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here. Let's take stock of exactly what's happening. So here you can see First Prime has moved his army around to our right flank here. Now remember, First Prime has got loads of Plumbarturi, so he's going to be throwing loads of missiles in there. You've got the Sassanid general there. Probably will bring his army in there to maybe strengthen their centre here. As I say, you can see AM Nestos charging forward with his infantry there, being very aggressive. Bearing in mind he's got those 5 religious units there. You've got Danny moving in here, possibly on the right flank. But if he attacks there, you'll see that, as I say, Barclay Mann has moved his Lombardite army back there, and probably going to bring that army in just at the right time to attack Danny if he tries to attack us there on that flank. Okay, let's say I've got my army at the rear of the mound there, and I'm hopefully going to get the timing right. What I'd like to do is get the timing right and bring my army in just at the right time. But as we all know, timing is very important, and if you get it wrong, then that could be a real problem. I've got my archers on top of the mound shooting at the enemy troops there. Okay, but as I say, remember that 8 times out of 10 the attacking team wins because they've got the initiative. If you notice, we're just kind of defensive and passive here. So as I say, 8 times out of 10 the attacking team does win. But look at the missiles here being thrown by First Prime's army, and the missiles that his army is receiving from our Roman troops. That is, look at it, it's just like raining effective against armor missiles. Here comes Clash's cavalry, and bang, as he smashes in there. So as I say, the team that holds the mound is usually passive and defensive, but they do a couple of forays with cavalry out to attack the forward units of the attacking team there. As you can just see what Clash has done there. It was a nice hit there by Clash. That would have given First Prime a lot of casualties there. As I say, you can see that the Sassanid general now has brought his Sugdian warriors into the centre there to kind of shore up AM Nestos's experimental army. But you can see AM Nestor still moving forward there, still trying to punch a hole through our centre. But as I say, look at the missiles still coming down onto First Prime's units and the missiles that he's throwing back up to us. As I say, I think First Prime, he had 15 Plumbartri, and remember that each one of those Plumbartri units can throw 810 effective against armour metal tipped darts. Okay, so here's AM Nestos' Green Roman army here. He is now, as I say, been very aggressive with his army. It's like he's trying to punch a hole through our centre here. There he's charged his cavalry general forward, bang, as that charges in there. Really, really aggressive there with his army. As I say, looks like he's trying to punch a hole straight up through the centre of the mound there. You've got cavalry here. Let's just pause again for a second here. So over here on this flank, look, you've got the Sassanid Cataphract cavalry with their massive 9 charge bonus, plus you've got those Roman cavalry there with their effective against armour maces ready to charge in. And as I say, here in the centre, you've got those Sugdian warriors with their effective against armour maces there, trying to back up AM Nestos, his infantry there, as I say, is trying to punch a hole through our centre. You've got Danny here with his complete army there, looking like he may well attack up that side of the mound. But of course, you've got Barclayman's army there ready to pull in there to attack Danny if he does try attacking up that side of the mound. So I think it could be interesting to see what happens here on this flank, see how aggressive Danny wants to be with his army, but he will have to watch out for Barclayman's army there. But here you can see that there's a heck of a lot of missiles being exchanged here by the enemy team. As I say, each one of these Plumbartri units can throw 810 effective against armour metal tipped darts. So look at the firepower that each of these armies have got, throwing in those darts to each other here. As I say, if you look up at the sky, it's like it's raining metal tipped darts. Look at the firepower that these two teams have got here. And as I say, with effective against armour darts like that, they're going to cause a heck of a lot of casualties there to both teams. As I say, look at AM Nestos here. His army, to me, looks like it's almost spent. Most of his units have been routed here. You can see that Man 2 is being very aggressive and attacking what's left of his units there with his Red Roman army. As I say, Danny moving in with his army there. Looks like he's going to come up this side of the mound. But as I say, look at the firepower. Look at those metal-tipped effective against armoured darts being thrown in. Look what Danny's... Look at the firepower Danny's got there. I mean, it really is like raining darts, isn't it? But luckily for us, I think most of his darts, instead of hitting our elite infantry, are killing Barclayman's archers there. I think those effective against armour darts, like I think if you look, see the damage they're doing to Barclayman's archers there. So that's the damage that they're doing there. Instead of hitting our elite infantry, they're killing our archers, which is okay for us. We don't mind that. He can throw his effective against armour darts into our archers there. I'm sure we don't mind that. He's probably caused some casualties to infantry, but it looks like a lot of archers have been killed there. You can see AM Nestos' general there, but I think the vast majority of his army has been taken out. He's still got his 5 priests, giving a morale bonus to the rest of his team there, but I think the vast majority of his infantry has been taken out. Now, can you see Man 2 is attacking now? Can you see he's attacking down the bottom of the slope here towards the enemy troops? Now, why he's decided to do that, I don't know, because taking those infantry forward look a bit exposed to me. They look a bit isolated. A good hit by enemy cavalry could take them out. And look, he's a long way from his general as well, so they're not even getting general morale bonus, I wouldn't have thought. They're too far away. And as I say, if the enemy smash those units there, he's going to lose a lot of his... there you are, you can see that cavalry charging there, and bang, as they smash in there. Look at the damage that they're doing to... Man 2's infantry there. Now, all those units that he just threw forward into that kind of attack have now all been taken out. Let's just pause the game there so you can see that all Man 2's infantry... I don't know whether we got some wires crossed if he thought we were all going to attack down the mound or something like that, but I can't remember that being said. And there he's lost all those infantry units there now, and maybe that might have altered the course of the battle now. We can't take those type of losses and expect to win. I mean, I don't know what you guys think there, but that's all those units have just been taken out. And if you notice here, can you see the enemy are getting a foothold on the mound now? Can you see they're gradually, slowly pushing their way up the mound, further and further towards us? And as I say, the enemy team have got the initiative here because we've become defensive and a little bit passive. And the enemy team have got the initiative and they're making the most of that. Look at this foothold they're getting on that mound. See, a lot of Clash's troops have now been routed by those effective against armour Sogdian warriors of the Sassanids there. So as you can see here, they're really pushing up the mound here, and as I say, it's a gradual attack up the mound. Right here you can see that Barclayman has decided to bring his Lombardi army in here to attack Danny's infantry and maybe attack Danny's cavalry there that's on the mound, okay? But you must be aware that Danny's got a lot of firepower there, that he could lay down a lot of missile damage onto Barclayman's infantry. Okay, but as I say, Barclayman decided to bring his Lombardi army into the fray at this stage of the battle. And as I say, Danny's cavalry looks like he's going to be chased off that mound now by Barclayman's intervention there with his army. As I say, he was effective against armour axes. But can you see those axes kind of glowing in the sun there? You can see them, couldn't you, glowing in the sun as they were attacking. And as I say, if you look at the general disposition here, you can see the enemy troops have definitely got a foothold on the bottom of that mound now. You can see that. And here's a nice charge by Clash, and bang, and he smashes in there. I think he's just taken out the rest of Amnestos' his army there. I think Amnestos now has only got his priest units left, his religious units left here. Here you can see the Sassanid general is attacking there, and bang, as he smashes in there with those cataphracts. You can see straight away that Clash is counter-attacking with his Roman troops there. Okay, so you can see this is a massive battle here. Okay, so I think you can see, as I say, Julius Caesar attacking with his elite of Sassanid cataphracts here, and you can see Clash bringing down infantry and cavalry here to counter that attack. Okay, now I think whoever wins here could possibly go on to win the battle, because if the enemy cavalry win here, look, they'll go round behind us, get on top of the mound. Okay, so if they beat us here, they'll go round behind us, get on top of the mound, and then charge down into the rear of our engaged troops. Okay, but here you can see the Sassanid infantry advancing up the hill along with First Prime's infantry, and as I say, you can see they've got a firm foothold here against our troops as they're starting to move up the hill. You can see one of my berserker units has been activated there. You can see him starting to chop down some of the enemy team, but maybe now is the time for me to charge my army forward here. Here you can see Barclayman here attacking Danny's units there, but you can see that Danny's cavalry, those cataphracts, are charging in as well. And as I say, this could possibly be a make or break of the battle here on the left flank. You can see Man 2's trying to help Barclayman out with his cavalry there, charging those couple of units in here. But Danny's got a very powerful army here, so it'd be interesting to see how well it does against Barclayman here, because if Danny beats Barclayman there, he would just come up on that side of the mound, and that could be end of game. Okay, but here you can see, as I say, Clash's infantry and cavalry are fighting these Sassanid cataphracts here. And as I say, whoever wins here could go on to win the battle. Remember, these cataphracts have got, I think it's something like a 34 or 35 defense. Okay, and as I say, you can see that Clash has got a slight downhill advantage there on the mound as he's charging all his infantry and cavalry down. Right, if you notice here, I've decided now it's time to attack with my infantry army. So here, as I say, you've got Clash's infantry and cavalry attacking those cataphracts there. Okay, so that's all of Clash's army there now is engaged with the cataphracts. So I am now attacking with my army there, with my berserkers, with my effective against armour axemen, and of course my knight raiders, who are also effective against armour, bring a big fear factor, destabilising enemy troops. Over here on the left side, you can see Barclayman's army is engaging Danny's, but if you notice, a heck of a lot of Barclayman's units have now been taken out, and Man 2's cavalry units that he's thrown in to the battle is also surrounded by enemy troops. So things are not maybe looking that good here on our left flank. Alright, but as I say, that's a general view of the battle as it stands at the moment. It's kind of divided into three kind of battles here, if you notice. One on the right flank, one in the centre, and one on the left flank here. Let's say it's divided into three. So you can see my units moving forward here, really charging forward into the enemy troops. My effective against armour axemen going first, then my effective against armour knight raiders with a big fear factor going. My berserkers have already been activated here, and I'm really pushing my troops in against First Prime's Roman troops there. Okay, as I say, my effective against armour axemen there will be doing a good job, I know, against those Romans. Okay, so let's pause the game for a second. So as I say, here you can see one particular battle here. I'm charging my 3 cavalry units in here to help Clash against these cataphracts. Okay, so that's one particular part of the battle. Then we've got the second part of the battle here in the centre, where my troops are attacking first primes and the Sassanid warriors there as well. And then the other part of the battle is on the left flank here, where you can see Man 2 is trying to help Barclayman here against Danny's infantry and cavalry. Okay, so as I say, here you can see Barclayman's infantry there being surrounded by enemy troops. I've got one of my berserker units over there to help Barclayman. If you notice there, I've got my Lombard berserker there trying to help best I can. But I think that Barclayman here could be in a bit of a trouble there. I can see how many enemy troops had surrounded him there. But here you can see in the centre, my troops have managed to rout First Prime's infantry there. Okay, so we've managed to rout First Prime's infantry, which is good for us. Really pleased about that. With the help of Man 2 there, and you can see, let's just pause again for a second. So you've got Clash's cavalry and infantry managed to chase off those Sassanid cataphracts. So now he can bring his infantry and cavalry into the fray. We've just broken First Prime's infantry there. With a combination attack from both of us. Okay, so that's good news for us. But over on the left flank here, you can see that all of Barclayman's infantry has just been taken out. I think he's got some cavalry units left, but all of his infantry have just been taken out by Danny, and I'm thinking Danny's going to get some good kills here through taking out all of Barclayman's infantry there. So keep an eye on Danny's kills at the end of the battle there, because I think he would get some good kills there. So as I say now, I can see the problem on our left flank, and I'm starting to move my infantry over to this left flank to try and help Barclayman's cavalry out at least, bearing in mind his infantry has been taken out. Okay, remember Warcry helps barbarian troops, so both my axemen and my knight raiders there, you press battle cry, and that will then enhance their attack specifications, both to the axemen and to the Knight Raiders as well. So I'm pressing, keeping that battle cry going as long as I could. Right, okay, so all of Barclayman's infantry and all of Barclayman's cavalry have now been taken out. Okay, so that's all of Barclayman's units have been taken out now. So what I'm going to try and do is fight my way over now towards Danny's victorious troops. Okay, remember that Danny's troops will be victorious there. Their morale will be high through seeing enemy troops rout. Okay, here you can see I've got my Burgundian Lancers and my General Cavalry unit in with Clash's cavalry unit here fighting the enemy cavalry at this particular part of the battlefield, and it looks from what I can see that we're getting the upper hand there against the enemy cavalry. Okay, but remember here, because Danny's troops have routed Barclayman's troops, and they'll know that their morale will be very high. Okay, so as I say, I'm moving my troops over, and you can see that Clash is moving his Roman troops over as well, and we're going to have to attack Danny's troops there. You can see that Man 2's got his general unit in there. Remember that general unit had 7 upgrades on, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack, and here's goes my infantry, and bang, as they smash into Danny's infantry there. Now don't forget, remember my Knight Raiders are not only effective against armour, but they take morale away from enemy troops, destabilising them, making them more susceptible to routing. So with my effective against armour axemen, my Knight Raiders plus Clash's infantry charging in there as well, it looks like we've managed to rout a heck of a lot of Danny's army there. And as you can see, it looks like we've routed all of Danny's army now through that joint attack from both Clash and myself. And it looks like our team has has managed to go on to win the battle there. Okay, as I say, 8 times out of 10 the attacking team usually wins because they've got the initiative. But you can see how intense the fighting was across this mound here. You can see just at the bottom of the mound here where the fiercest fighting has taken place there, by just all the piles of dead there that are on that mound. So as I say, there it's very unusual there for the defending team to win. As I say, 8 times out of 10 the attacking team wins here. So I say we've done quite well. I say Danny did well there at taking out all of Barclayman's army. And as I say, it wouldn't surprise me if he got some good kills there through doing that, because don't forget, he killed loads of Barclayman's archers as well with his missile attack on the mound. Do you remember we saw those missiles going into Barclayman's archers there? So I'm thinking that Danny's probably got some good kills here. But as I say, our team has managed to go on to win. I think Man 2's got maybe 2 or 3 units left. That's how attritional the battle was. There's 1 unit of Danny's left there. My guess he's probably going to admit defeat there. Yeah, he's just admitted defeat. So, as I say, we've managed to go on to win the battle there. As I say, all of Barclayman's army was taken out, and as I say, Man 2 I think it's got 2, maybe 3 units left in the whole battle. And there's my effective against armor axemen there, and I think I've got an archer unit in there as well. So okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. As you can see, it was an average victory there. And as I say, very unusual for the defending team to win there. As I say, 8 times out of 10, the attacking team who have the initiative usually win on this particular mound map. And as I say, I usually like to be in the attacking team because I like to be the team with the initiative. Highest kills in the game goes, as we thought, to Brotherhood member Danny, 1,631. Unusual for the highest kills to go to someone in a losing team. So well done to Brotherhood member Danny there. As I say, 1,631 kills. So I'd like to say, really well done to Brotherhood member First Prime. Got some good kills there and did really well on that flank, I thought, there with his army. Well done to Julius Caesar with his Sassanid army there. Well done to AM Nessos with that experimental army. Don't think he got the kills that he wanted to there. It'd be interesting to see if he would try that army again. And as I say, well done to Danny for the highest kill. So really well played, guys. Nice aggressive attacking by him. That old Alemanni army of mine managed to scrape in the second highest kills, so it wasn't too bad. Well done to Barclayman. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but he was kind of hammered on that left flank by Danny. Well done to Man 2, very aggressive, very attacking there, I thought. And well done to Clash, played really well there. So once again, really well played to everybody in the game. Quick look at the statistics of my Alemanni army. If you look there, not really great. Nothing really, I don't think, outstanding there. The archers didn't do too badly. The berserkers did okay, but I don't think really anything outstanding there really. It's just quite good general army really. So as I say, hope you enjoyed this battle. As I say, when I play on this mound map, when First Prime hosts, I usually like to be in the attacking team because I like the initiative. Okay, hope you enjoyed this battle. Please leave a thumbs up if you like, and bye for now.